Have you heard about the woman who single-handedly defeated Hitler? Probably not. Most people haven't. But her story is one of the most amazing stories of World War II. Her name was Nancy Wake, and she was one of Britain's most valuable spies during World War II. She was a secret agent, a radio operator, a courier, a saboteur, a sniper, and an assassin. And she was so good at what she did that Hitler put a 5,000-pound bounty on her head, which is the equivalent of about $2,000 today. That was a lot of money back then, and it shows how dangerous she was. But who was she, and how did she defeat Hitler? Nancy Wake was born in New Zealand in 1912. She had a wealthy childhood and could have easily lived a comfortable life. But she was a thrill seeker and an adrenaline junkie and wanted more out of life. She worked as a nurse, a journalist, and a social worker. But her real passion was a love of fast cars and motorcycles. She set several speed records in the 1930s and even became the fastest woman on wheels in the world. When World War II broke out, Wake wanted to join the war effort. She enlisted in the British Army but soon realized that she wasn't cut out for military life. She was too impatient and insubordinate to follow orders, so she was kicked out of the army, but this didn't stop Wake. She was determined to do her part to defeat the Nazis. So she joined the Special Operations Executive, or SOE, a British agency that trained spies. Wake's first mission was in France. Her job was to gather intelligence on the Germans and report it back to the British. But she was captured almost immediately and spent 8 months in a German prison camp. The Germans knew that Wake was a spy, but they couldn't get her to talk. She was tortured over 60 times, but she never cracked. Eventually, she was released and returned to England. Undeterred by her experience in prison camp, Wake went back to France, this time with a new mission. She was to lead a group of spies behind enemy lines. Her group was responsible for gathering intelligence, sabotaging German operations, and recruiting new spies. They were also given orders to kill high-ranking Nazis if they got a chance. Wake's group was active in France for 2 years, and they managed to stay hidden from the Germans despite being hunted by the Gestapo. In 1944, the group was betrayed by a French resistance fighter, and Wake and her lover were captured. They were tortured and sentenced to death by the Nazis, but they were eventually rescued by the British. After the war ended, Wake returned to France to help rebuild the country. She also traveled to Germany to testify at the Nuremberg trials. She was awarded many medals and honors, including the Order of the British Empire, but she remained humble. She knew that she had been lucky to survive and was grateful for the opportunity to help others. So how did Nancy Wake defeat Hitler? She didn't defeat him in a single battle or capture him. She defeated him by gathering intelligence, sabotaging his operations, and killing his men. She was a thorn in the side of the Nazi war machine, and her actions helped to turn the tide of war. Nancy Wake died in 2011 at the age of 98. She is survived by her husband and 2 sons. Her legacy lives on in the many people she inspired to be brave, courageous, and selfless. If you want to hear more stories like this, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you next time.